Mine's on. We start Jonah's. It's the red button. All right, everybody. We are live. Welcome back to another episode of the Morning Woods podcast. Make sure you go over to patreon.com/JohnnyWoodsComedy where you can get my private podcast and you guys can get all my content first. Today, I have some special guests with me. This is the first time I've had a threesome in my living room since the studio is changed over to my home office. And I got to say, it's been hot and sweaty in here for hours, and I don't want these boys to leave. So right now, we got a couple of young podcasters in the house. They got some stickers. They're signing boobs out here. Yeah. It's been a real Beatles fest.
Male tits.
Ever since these guys have showed up. They're signing man boobs. Mm-hmm. I got mine. You guys make sure you get yours and make sure you go check out the Pog Patrol podcast.
Yes.
We got Jonah, Wells, and we have Mark Perkins in the house. What's up, boys?
Thanks for having us.
What is up, man?
What a fucking intro is what you did.
Yes, I know.
That was pretty good.
Very happy to be here.
You got to make a Patreon where you like take your shirt off so they can see where we signed your
That's
tits.
on his OnlyFans.
Dude, well, I think I'm going to do it on Patreon, actually. It's not a bad
Patreon.
You could be like those girls on
OnlyFans.
Twitch who those guys will pay and they write their names on.
Yeah, dude, I'll get dirty for Twitch.
Yeah.
For what is that? Is that like a thing where people have like seizures or whatever?
No, it's that streaming. It's the streaming thing for video games.
Okay, I was gonna say because I could, if it helps.
They stream their seizures.
I can show. Yeah, if it helps people that have seizures, I could show them my man boobs. If that's gonna take away the seizures.
Hell yeah.
Somehow, I
don't know about take away.
I'm not good with science or medical
fix the seizures
stuff, but. That's not what this podcast is about anyway. No. This podcast is about you guys have launched your podcast recently. Yeah. Glad to see you guys getting your foot in the door in the podcasting game. Yep. It's not the same as stand-up. It's a little bit of a different world, but it's fun, right?
Yes, it's a lot of fun. I really like it.
It's some work, though. I was about to say, it's some work for sure.
It's not easy, yeah.
There's no days off. You always got to be thinking of something and bullshitting somehow.
You don't even want... You don't have... What?
Dude, we're not going to talk about this live on the Morning Woods, okay?
Who does more of the... If we're going to talk about it, who does more of the work on the podcast?
I look for all the articles, so I don't know why he's Jonah. Like, it's a constant grind. You're always looking at stuff.
Look, I got to prepare to talk.
And then we'll be we're on our way over here, and I'm like... So, because he texted me today, he's like, hey, I want to do more mainstream news. So I'm like, okay, I guess I'm picking too much niche stuff.
You guys are woke all of a sudden.
So
I got you.
Look, so it's going to catch us somehow eventually.
We get together. I say, okay, so what do you want to talk about today? It's like mainstream stuff. He goes, I don't know.
Look, my problem is I'm completely cut off from any news at all. I don't watch mainstream news. I don't watch alt news, like nothing. I'm in the dark on anything that's going on in the world. And Jonah is not. He likes alt news sources.
Hell
which respect. Those, they rock for sure.
Yeah.
And you just bring them to the table and then we discuss them.
I know.
Yeah. I think we got a good format going.
We do have
news is fun. Yeah, news is fun. I think you guys do have a cool show though.
Yeah.
It seems like you guys are starting to get the hang of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like it's hard to watch people struggle sometimes, but like I struggled for a long time trying to get in the podcasting game. It only seems like very recently have I even got any kind of traction and kind of people paying attention. So it's going to take some time, but maybe not. Like, because I'm here to help. So
yeah, we got you helping. And it's nice to have someone like who's also new to it, working with you. And I think from the very beginning, we both were like, we're going to do something together.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is.
Yeah, we were talking about how you've been a big help. And by that, we mean like overweight.
Big, yeah. As big as you can get.
I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. You're right. These are 38 jeans. Baggy jeans are back, but my baggy tits are not in. They haven't been in fashion ever since the beginning of time.
I like them, man.
Well, thanks. No, I really appreciate that. Thank you.
No, but seriously, on the producing side and stuff, been a huge...
I'm glad, man, to see people stepping up. I think that this is an open market. Dayton is like an untapped resource for...
whole Midwest.
Yeah, the whole Midwest in general. This is a good jumping off point, though, for comedy. I think at some point it could become like a mecca for comedy in the next 5 to 10 years. That's what people are predicting.
Yeah, I mean, it only takes one person every time. I mean, in Austin and everywhere.
Like, what else are we supposed to do here besides go to comedy clubs? Like,
that's it. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. It could be like that if there were more comedy clubs.
And like we were talking, I think we talked about this before. There's no like podcast of the Midwest, like that represents the Midwest comedy wise. Or I mean, I don't know. I guess comedy is what I focus on. But.
But there's not a ton where like you see when comics travel to Midwest, they're like, yeah, I'm gonna do that podcast. Like, right? Like you got to ask them. I'm sure, but there's just I don't know of any. I mean, there may be some bigger ones. I know that in Columbus that Jason Banks has a pretty good one that's starting to get some traction too. Okay. So that you guys familiar with Jason Banks? Obviously.
I've heard the name for sure, but
he was a Columbus comic. He just did the Steve Harvey show. He's now touring all over the country. Very funny guy. He's one of those comics who was doing it for like 10 or 15 years, and then his TikTok blew up during COVID. And it took him to the next level, and he got like 6 million followers. Nice. He had an agent, and it kind of like the success happened overnight. But he's one of those people that worked for a long time to get to this level. It's just like kind of a staple.
That's TikTok, though. Like, I mean, people who blow up on TikTok, it's like overnight.
Yeah, that's how it happens.
I mean, it happens to all people. Old people.
Everyone loves TikTok.
Yeah, everybody loves. Everyone's on TikTok.
I should be on TikTok. I deleted it today. I should download it again.
You gotta bite the bullet. No one wants to be on TikTok except for like children and
my dad. He wants to be on it.
Yeah.
Thank God he doesn't make videos though.
Yeah, that would fucking suck. I
have to be on TikTok. All right, we're gonna be on TikTok from now on. I'm gonna start posting my clips on the TikTok.
You have to. It's just that's just the platform. That's where everyone's at now, and it sucks because the Chinese control it, and
I don't have a problem with the Chinese here. Us at the Morning Woods, we love Chinese food and all things.
Guys, hold on. Let me finish.
Asian Zing is my favorite wing sauce. I mean,
not bad. Yeah,
I don't have a problem.
The CCP.
Anyway, we're glad to be here. All right,
go ahead.
Go ahead. No, please.
I was saying, do you feel like you started podcasting before you were ready to do it?
10,000%.
Yeah.
I felt like I started it because I was a huge fan of like Joe Rogan and Andrew Schultz and these other guys, Chris DiStefano. There's all these people I look up to that are doing really well, and it's like a business model in a way. And so I think I looked at it like a business for so long that it didn't work for me. And then when I finally like got good at it, got the right gear, and stopped really giving a fuck and just started making the shows that I wanted to make, then that's when people started watching it. And it took a really long time for me to get there. And it was like over a year, I think, before people started really watching the show. I did it way too early. I wish I would have had somebody like a Brian Redband.
I mean, everyone did it early. If you think about like Rogan,
Segura,
and they were all failed. You fail at first. Like I feel like
radio. It all started way before. So you might as well get early.
Well, that's what took Rogan off was his. We were just talking about this earlier. The Rocky Mountain High special was the last club special that he did.
Right.
That was 2014. And then that was around the time he was like a year or two into his podcast, and it really started making waves.
Really?
Yeah. And
that's it? It was 10 years ago he started it?
I think he is about 10, 11 years now.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, something like that. I remember when I used to do music still. I used to be a rapper, so I have a bunch of stuff out there too. If you guys,
hell yeah. Can you spit us a freestyle?
No, I haven't done it in a long time.
No more.
If you guys ever want to go deep, it's super cringy, but it's out there. Hey, but even back then, I was a huge fan of stand-up. I always have been my whole life, and I used to listen to Rogan all the time. But yeah, he was a big inspirer of like a lot of the shit that I do, like kind of changing into stand-up comedy and trying to get my life together and trying to actually like get in shape and fucking a whole ton of it, dude. So yeah, that
very inspirational.
I got a lot of respect for that guy for sure.
He's crazy. He's a stand-up comedian. Like that's his main thing, but has the #1 podcast in the world.
That's what's weird to me, bro, too. And it also deters me from watching it sometimes. Like, I'll still watch it, like, every couple episodes, but I don't watch every episode anymore because not only do I not have time, but it's too popular.
Yeah.
You know, I want to be, like, on the fringe. That's when it was fun, when it was, like, it was just me and a couple 100,000 other people.
Yeah,
You know, it was small things, but
And sometimes I don't want to hear him and Steven Ranella talking about shooting moose or turkeys or whatever. Like,
yeah, exactly.
and they're different types of Bowie knives. And
well, if you think about it, that kind of gives it. That's kind of the reason that what you're saying right now is the reason I would say it's so popular because he has so many different fields that he's involved in.
Yeah.
So you have like a couple million hunters, then you have a couple million fight fans, and you have a few million comedian fans. So all that that's his world, right? And then even now
people pick and choose which one they want to watch, like depending on what they're interested in.
Right. Yeah,
he's got a great variety of.
He's also getting other people to kind of cross platform their things and the ideas. So like if you are just like a UFC fan, you might watch his thing and then want to be like, maybe I should go hunt or get my own meat. And it's so it's interesting, man. Yeah, I think I can see the appeal from an outsider looking in. I can see why the whole world is like, what the fuck is going on over there?
He's this comic, UFC commentating, hunting, stoner,
athlete,
weightlifter. Yeah, like what the hell, man?
Yeah,
what does he not do?
Yeah, he's like the best at all the stuff that he does, dude. He'll kick someone's ass. Like he's a badass dude in real life. Even though he's 50-something, I would hate to fucking get kicked by that guy.
He'll do whippets live on the podcast.
But yeah, dude.
I think they just did whippets on the last podcast.
That's crazy, really?
Yeah. They put the camera, so allegedly, because they turned the camera off.
Isn't that funny? This is the #1 show on the planet, and they're
In
like
the
smoking
world.
pot and then talking about DMT and stuff.
If you wanted to get a message out to the most amount of people possible, you'd go on the Joe Rogan Experience.
Just wait till episode 15 when we do the ketamine episode. Okay,
You guys are doing the ketamine
episode 15
we
of
already have
Hog
it
Patrol,
planned
out.
the ketamine episode.
Tune in for that, yeah.
Fire.
Just me sitting there.
I can't wait for that. Actually, I can't wait to actually give these guys Narcan in my living room studio. And then that would be fun for me. I mean, you guys make my life interesting, so thank you for that.
Morningwood's Patreon for that right there.
You guys go to the Patreon if you guys want to see these guys boof ketamine.
Yeah.
What is ketamine? What does it do to you?
It's like a horse tranquilizer, so it's like a sedative.
We'll be fine.
Cool.
Sure, we can find it somewhere.
I'm down.
I feel like one of you guys know a guy.
I'm sure we can find it,
If I had to take a guess, a couple of 20-somethings with hair like your guys.
He's like, yeah, I know. There probably is a guy on my street who I may or may not know, talk to a few dozen times. And transactions.
You can. There's like ketamine treatments now.
I want to give ketamine to my dog because she won't shut up. Can you guys? I know you guys hear that. I hope that it's not in the background right now. I hope PETA doesn't shut me down because I just fucking. I want to give her like something. They gotta have Benadryl for dogs or something, right?
Yeah, they use ketamine for a lot of things now. So
I want to use it.
I don't think it's animal abuse anymore.
I want to use it to get away from my life. You know what I mean?
You just get killed out and just fucking.
I just want to use ketamine just to forget, dude. Sometimes I get Johnny depressed.
Johnny depressed.
Yeah, dude. I get the fucking.
That should be the name of this episode.
Johnny depressed. Yeah, Johnny be good. That's what they used to say, and I didn't listen, and things really went downhill from there. You know.
Hey, sometimes they go downhill before you go up, or even deeper down.
Is there anyone who does comedy who's like, man, dude, my life's just been sick.
Hey,
sick.
Straight up and straight down.
If by sick, you mean like turmoil and sadness,
terminally
physically ill.
Yeah. No, I mean like
that's comedy, dude. That's what makes it funny, though. Like when you can actually take the
everything
stuff.
in my life has worked out for me.
Yes.
I've had no problems there's no one in comedy like that.
When you can figure out that like that is comedy, then you're on the right track. I think once you know that tragedy and comedy are the only two real forms of entertainment. You're not gonna get anything in between.
Well, I hate when people get on me about like dark shit, but it's like, what is comedy?
Shakespeare
without
said that, I think.
Without the fucking.
Well, this is the thing.
Without talking about
suffering.
You got to figure out. You got to figure
turning
out
pain into laughter.
Yeah, you have to figure out that balance.
Yeah.
That balance is there for everyone, and if you go overboard before the audience trusts you, I mean, I've done this too. I mean, I hear a lot of people say that my stuff is dark, so I made it more palatable. I have other stuff in there. I'm silly. I I ham it up a little bit because like that's what comedy is. It's not it's not being hacky. Like you're almost to me, you almost seem like you're too cool to be funny, and you have to like lighten up a little bit. I think.
Yeah, I can see that. I like silly stuff. I like absurd comedy.
I think if you want to talk about the cool stuff or the weird stuff that you're into, you have to first learn about joke writing and get on the crowd on your side and talk about yourself and you have to talk about you. Like Eminem taught us this in 8 Mile. You have to talk about who you are and bust your own balls a little bit, and then they let their guard down, and then you can kind of like have your way with them.
That was B Rabbit. That was
Slim Shizzy.
Slim Shady was never. He came out shooting. That's how I like to think about it. I like to think about it. Before I was like, oh yeah, it's like first joke. I like to think about it. You come in, you introduce yourself, like hey. And you shoot a gun in the air, like the fucking scene in The Dark Knight.
Everyone's like, whoa, what the fuck is going on?
I don't know about The Dark Knight. I like to picture more like, what about the movie with the other guys, Like that's the kind of that's the kind of shooting in the ceiling that
he convinces him to do it.
Yeah, that's like more appropriate for me. Do you see the difference between where you're trying to be funny though? Like that is funny because it's a little more silly, and the one in The Dark Knight not as funny, right? Do you see what I mean?
But it's funny if they're clowns. What do you mean it's not funny?
Well, that's it. It's almost like saying the movie It is funny, which I don't.
Perspective.
Yeah, it's a different perspective.
I mean, tricking children into the sewer.
Classic
prank we've all done.
So basically you guys are saying that like my next open mic, I just need to go up like, I am white, I am a fucking bum.
Yeah, dude, but you have to say it in joke format.
Okay.
That's what it's about, bro.
No, yeah, I agree 100%.
And if you're doing really good at it, dude, like those rich people with those like good crowds, like in bigger cities and stuff, they eat that shit up. They're like, yeah, you poor little piece of shit. Tell us about your life. You garbage man. That's when I talk about my childhood and stuff like that and growing up in a van and like living on the streets and stuff, like if I say it too serious and I haven't already built up a good rapport with the crowd, it's a or a groan rather than like laugh, and it's like you're supposed to be laughing at my pain. You're supposed we're all like that's my thing. You don't get to groan at it. You don't get to go ugh.
I like taking it on the roller coaster.
Yeah,
it's a dance.
It's a dance. Yes,
a groan isn't always a bad thing.
A groan's better than nothing.
But also a groan from half the crowd and laugh from half the crowd is just as good.
That's that Patrice O'Neill ideology, I think.
Yeah.
Like that's what he said, something like that. Half the people are groaning. He said not everyone should like your joke.
Yeah.
Right now, we kind of want, at the level we're at, we kind of want almost everyone.
I always feel like, if you build it, they will come mentality. Like the people who like the brand of comedy you do will find you.
Agree.
They'll find you. If you do your thing, they will come find you.
Yeah. You just have to be funny enough and consistent.
Because you'll see the people who are really passionate about that type of comedy, and they they want to support that way more than I think the
opposing people who want to oppose it.
Yeah, the everyman comic.
Right. Yeah. You gotta. We're over here talking like we know, but we don't know anything. But we're getting somewhere.
I mean, you guys have it's okay to have opinions because you're obviously fans of the art of comedy before you're a comedian ever. So like everyone has a different idea of what it is, and I don't even think there's a book on it anywhere. I don't think there's any real reference guide. It's all about figuring it out, getting a good network, making friends, and then through other comics you figure out comedy. Like there's classes out there and there's probably books and stuff on the internet you can find, but there's nothing like actually doing it and physically going up and trying your ideas and figuring out what's funny and what's not, what works for you, where it works, when it works. And it's like I heard this analogy a long time ago and it always stuck with me. I think it's a good reference point to use for comedy. And it's like comedy is a sport. If it was a sport, it would be the only sport we have a different size ball and a different court every single time. So you have to adapt. It's a game of adaptment and adjustments. That's kind of what comedy is. In the moment, improvisation is huge.
Yeah.
It's you don't have to take improv classes, but you have to do improv when you do stand up. That's part of it.
Did you hear that on the #1 podcast in the world, the Joe Rogan Experience?
Probably, yeah.
Knowledge.
Yeah, dude.
Knowledge.
Yeah, this is trickle-down knowledge. This is like trickle-down economics. Like for the people who don't have time to listen to Rogan say it, but think I might be cool enough to have an opinion.
Yeah.
I just steal all my ideas from him. So there you guys go.
Honestly, he's very influential like that.
Eggs are killing you.
Fuck, I had another thing about comedy. I forgot it already, though. My memory's been bad.
That's okay. You guys just fucking talked for over an hour anyway, and I've dude, I've had an insanely long week. I just editing all this stuff that I did the week before. Like, I wish I had an editor. Hey, if anybody wants to be my intern out there, anybody want to learn how to do any of this podcasting, video work, inbox me. Editors, I need editors, so inbox me. But I'm just like I feel like I'm a week behind. Like I went on the road and did those shows in Louisville, and then I was back and forth. I had to do some gigs here the next day, and then I had to drive back. So
doing stand up and doing this
it's crazy, yeah. But I have to do it because I had to make money. So I'm like in between both of these things, and like I had to edit all this footage all week long and stuff. But it was worth it, dude. Like I have a bunch of stuff coming out. I have a new vlog that just came out. I have a video. Shout out Mark Perkins and our buddy Kyle Roger. We have a new sketch coming out next week. You guys can check that out in the description.
That's a good one.
I'll put that out. That comes out next Friday.
That's funny.
It's really funny. I think that we're going to have some more of those too. So you guys make sure you let me know if you guys like the sketch comedy. Say in the description. No one ever likes the videos or comments. So why don't you guys fucking do that and stop being weird? Yeah. Because I know that you're watching and we know that you are.
Yeah,
I know that you are.
All the people will come up and they'll be like, "Oh man, I love the podcast," and I'll be like, "There were no likes on it.
You didn't even give it a like."
Comments.
Yeah, I've had friends tell me like about your podcast and ours and stuff, and like say how they liked it.
Watching it,
and it's like, dude, I'd be like, I can see that you haven't liked it or anything.
Yeah,
like
dude.
you're just telling me about it. Like
are you subscribed on iTunes?
Yeah.
Like, are you? You guys should get some business cards or some QRs or something like that too. I think that's something a lot of comedians should be doing. But yeah, dude, this is.
We have a gift for you.
Oh, dude, no way, guys, check it out. Oh shit, I wish I had this at the beginning when I was plugging your show. You guys should check out the Pod Patrol podcast. I produce it. My kids think that I'm producing a show about cartoons every time they're listening in the background. Talk about all this crazy stuff these kids talk about. So I had to buy an extra special pair of headphones so my children couldn't listen to this.
Noise canceling.
You guys should let your kids listen to it, okay?
Oh, yeah.
It's a good idea. It's not about cartoons, though. It's about white women and protecting them.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
It's important. But
we cover a lot of topics.
They cover
like a Joe Rogan Experience, you know?
Yes.
Well, I wouldn't go there, but they do have a broad range of great things that they're interested in.
You'll learn just as much, I promise you.
Yeah.
Just as much in the 29 minutes that you'll hear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's will learn so much.
Yeah.
It feels like a long time, you know? It really does. 29 minutes can feel like a lifetime.
I felt like we were breezing through it.
Not today.
That's called sarcasm there, Jonah.
Not to
when we did it.
It's okay.
We can't break the fourth wall.
That's just some inside baseball for you guys.
I appreciate it, dude. It sounds like my pit bull is having a hernia in the back, dude. I hope people can't hear this, dude. I really have to start sedating her or something. Like, I don't understand.
At least
why
they don't
she's giving me
know
so much trouble.
At least they don't know about you kicking it and locking it in the pantry, though.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It would. Yeah.
People
suck
don't realize why
that.
it's crying. They think it's just because it's close in a room. No, it's laying right there. Like I can see it.
Right outside the camera shot.
Right outside the camera range.
I thought PETA stood for Pantries Every Tuesday Afternoon. Is that not the
bada bing, bada
Is that not the case, baby? Hey, check it out. I should have said this at the beginning, but I'm going to tell you guys anyway. I have some dates. I'm going to be at Wiley's Comedy Club March 10th and 11th. I'll be with Brad Lanning, and then 2 weeks later I'll be at Wiley's again, Peppers and Punchlines with Alex Eakin, and I don't know the other guy's name, but I like him. His name's Jared Scott. Jared Scott and Alex Eakin, they're gonna come all the way from Indianapolis. You guys check that out, and then also Bricky's Comedy Club. I will be there for their Friday night showcase. I will be there for that on March 24th. So you guys can get those tickets at my website, reallydumbmedia.com. You guys head over there, and also head to reallydumbmedia.com and subscribe to this podcast. There was another place I was going to tell you to go, patreon.com/Johnny Woods Comedy. Make sure you subscribe to the Paw Patrol podcast. Yep. Make sure you guys subscribe to this podcast. Give it a thumbs up. What's it? Is it a problem to give it a thumbs up? Is it just a little bit? Comment. Tell me that you don't like my hair. I know I'm going bald. That's why this podcast is going to be sponsored by Keeps eventually, and we're looking forward to it. Okay, we're going to get the finasteride treatment. Everything's going to be fire, baby. I'm all about it. Seriously though, watch their show. Thank you for watching my show. And that's pretty much all the time we have for you guys today. If you haven't already left the video, goodbye.
Instead of Keeps, you'll be sponsored by Get Backs.
Get Backs, yeah, dude. Yeah,
there's the end.
Get Backs is gonna be like a fucking hair transplant surgery. Go over to Colombia to get it. Go to patreon.com/Johnny Woods Comedy. Also go to reallydumbmedia.com. You guys listen to the podcast. You guys can look at other stuff on there. Book me